I've been curious. Who exactly is the youngest swimmer in the world?
Oh, I'll tell you. Alzin Tarek, age 10, is the youngest and fastest swimmer in World Championships history. Tarek has been swimming competitively since the age of 4.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm glad I wowed you.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Which club is the first to win Champions League?
That's very easy. Real Madrid. The first Champions League was won by Real Madrid during the 1955 and 1956 season.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're listening to Sports in a Jiffy on Impact Radio 102.1 FM Lagos.
Friday edition of the show Sports in a Jiffy on your most exciting breakfast show, the Morning Impact Show here on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. That particular place where I get to serve the very best of stories that are currently making the rounds in the ever exciting, ever dynamic, and sometimes controversial world of sport. As break for AS Roma last night in the UEFA Europa League, because they got 3 penalties. Yes, they had to retake a penalty 3 times, and guess what? None got into the back of the net. What a game. What a dilemma. So bad. So sad. I'm sure the team must be exasperated right about now in the game against Lille. Other matches were played across board yesterday night as well. Ange Postecoglou, not too good for him, right there with Nottingham Forest. And a lot of fans are now coming for Marinaki, saying he thought he has arrived with his team. And then he went ahead to sack Nuno Espirito Santo. It is only Espirito Santo who knows how best to manage the players he's got it with himself right there at Nottingham Forest. The man, Ange Postecoglou, the big guy like they call him, has not won a game since he took charge of the side, the English Premier League side right there. We'll talk more about that in the course of the show this morning. Breaking news coming through is that the Super Eagles list for the decisive World Cup qualifiers has now been released by the Nigerian Football Federation. Coach Eric Sekechele going to that particular games with 4 midfielders. Yes, certain. We'll talk about that later on the show this morning. Sports in a Jiffy on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. Still talking age grade football on the 20 World Cup as well. The Flying Eagles were able to defeat Saudi Arabia 3-2, giving them a lifeline going into the next round of the particular tournament. They played their next game against Colombia. Colombia are currently sitting second in that particular log, just behind the Norway. The two teams are topping the particular table right there with 4 points apiece, and then you have Nigeria with 3 points. Many people are saying maybe we can qualify as best losers, and that's more like a lifeline for the team. And right here in Lagos, Nigeria, the old Lagos is agog right now. And of course, the pilots are also bracing for the inaugural edition of the E1 Championship, that the battle that will be staged right here in Lagos. There's going to be the qualifying, and also the race itself will be happening this weekend. Lots of stories to serve to you on Sports in a Jiffy right here on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. Don't forget that this is the first installment of the show for today. I'll be back later this evening, 5 p.m. down to 6 p.m. on the Sports Up Show, where we do 1 hour of banter, 1 hour of reach, 1 hour of views, reviews, and all of the major interviews on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. Short reminder that we're currently live on our YouTube channel at Impact 102.1 FM right there on YouTube. Get interactive with us. You can as well join us on our Facebook fan page at Impact Radio 102.1 FM. To the switch of the back of the net right about now, I'll be getting the show on the road. Ayodeji Ajiboye is my name. Absolute honor to be your host on the show this morning. Just like I mentioned, we start with talks from the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, where Nigeria have now announced their 23-man squad for October's decisive 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho and Benin Republic. Earlier today, Coach Eric Sekechele and in Sevilla striker Ako Adams a maiden call-up to the squad. Captain William Trust Ekong headlining the team, while Shemilogo Ajayi, Tere Murphy, Al-Hassan Yusuf, Olakunle Olusegun all return after spells away from the national side. Stanley Nwabali retains his place as the first choice goalkeeper. You also have Amaso Basoji and also Adebayo Adeleye, Felix Agu, Bruno Yemechi, Bryce Osayi Samuel, Benjamin Frederick, and also Calvin Bassi are drafted into the defense. Like I mentioned, a very thin midfield we're having with Alexander Iwobi, Wilfred Ndidi, Franco Yeka, and also Al Hassan Yusuf providing Chile with experience and energy in the middle of the park. The forward line is going to be led by Victor Osimhen, featuring Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Tremofi, Cyril Desas, Tolu Arokodare, and returning Olakunle Olusegun and the debutant Adams. A very critical juncture for the Super Eagles of Nigeria in Group C of the African qualifiers, with our hopes of reaching the World Cup appearing to be slipping away after 5 draws in 8 matches. FIFA's recent situation and also sanctioning of the South African side are giving hope to Nigeria, altering the picture that we have in our heads right now. And hopefully, at the end of the day, it will be said that maybe or maybe not, we can be a part of the World Cup 2026. A lot of Nigerian football enthusiasts are definitely looking forward to that particular one, because it's going to be staged right there in the United States of America, Canada, and also Mexico. For the Super Eagles, that particular sanction I mentioned has breathed a new life into the campaign. Right now, if we win over Lesotho in Polokwane on October 10, while Lesotho have also been lifted to 9, Zimbabwe remain bottom on 4 and already eliminated from the contention, I meant to say, as it is right now. Winning against Lesotho on 10, we'll be taking them level on points to the leaders before the final home match against Benin Republic, which is going to be in Uyo on 14th of this month. 2 victories will be seen Nigeria finishing on 17 points, which may be enough to secure automatic qualification, depending on what the result of the South African games will be in Durban and also Umbumbela for their next couple of games as well. And away from the Super Eagles talk right now, we'll go straight into the camp of the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, where they kept their Under-20 World Cup hopes alive with a dramatic 3-2 victory over Saudi Arabia in Group F encounter at the Fiscal Stadium in Chile earlier this morning. It was played 9 p.m. Chilean time and 12 a.m. Nigerian time. Oh my. I had to keep my sleep aside to watch that particular game. But then the boys, so much needs to be said about them, because it looks like they were at a point in time under so much pressure in that particular game. The game would have turned the other way around, because our third goal, our decisive goal, came at the death of the game, which was a stoppage time penalty by Captain Daniel Bameyi, was what made the difference. I imagine we didn't get that penalty in the death of the game. The story this morning across all outlets would definitely not be a good one. We don't forget that the campaign started off in a disappointing loss to Norway with that particular 1-0 loss in that game, and now more like there's going to be a lifeline for the boys, and hopefully they'll make good use of it when they play against tabletoppers Colombia in the last group fixture that is going to be played on 6th of this month. Brighton a chance to get into the round of 16, because you are now third place in Group F with 3 points in that particular group. And away from that story right now, still sports in a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Quickly, let's go straight into other sports on the show this morning. I will start with the big one that will be happening in Lagos next this weekend, I beg your pardon, with race-bet pilots of the 9 teams of the UIME One World Championship. Looking forward to a thrilling penultimate race of the season right here in Lagos. Because E1 will be making a debut in Africa this weekend. The E1 is an all-electric international offshore powerboat racing series which debuted in Jeddah last year and is competed by 9 teams across selected cities in different countries. Ahead of the E1 Lagos Grand Prix, the pilots tested the waters with the race bets on Thursday before the qualifying later tomorrow, Saturday, and the main race is going to be on Sunday. Tim Brady, owned by 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady, leads the championship standings by just a single point over Tim Rafa, which is owned by tennis legend and 22 Grand Slam winner Rafael Nadal. Ivory Coast football legend and former Chelsea striker Didier Drogba, also a co-owner of Team Drogba Global Africa, along with Gabriel Lemaire, and is expected to attend the race this weekend. At the E1 Lagos Grand Prix is the penultimate round with the season finale scheduled for Miami later this year. Before I go away from the home front on the show, this one, let's make a stop in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Rescheduled match day 5 fixtures between Abia Warriors and also Abia Warriors and Remo Stars and Kwara United up against Plateau United. For the two teams, don't forget, they just at the back of them suffering heartbreaks on the continent. That's talking about the CAF Confederations Cup. They are now back to focus on the Nigerian Premier Football League. And for Abia Warriors, they were able to defeat defending champions Remo Stars 2-0 right there. Sunday Mego and also Emeka Obioma getting on the score sheet in the 28th and the 60th minute from for the team right there, and the victory. Abia Warriors have now moved to the 4th spot with 9 points from 5 games, while the Sky Blue Stars slid to 14 with 7 points from 5 games as well. For the game between Kwara United and Plateau United, the Umu Chineke boys will now travel to Ilorin as guests of Kwara United, who triumphed over Plateau United 2-1. Another rescheduled game dubbed the North Central Derby played in Ilorin yesterday. That's talking about the George Ini Stadium. Right inside the Rashidi Yekini Membo. Junior Emofia put the Harmony Boys in the lead in the 9 minutes of the first half, and the Peace Boys equalized in the 58th minute through Vincent Timitokwe. But Kwara United had the last laugh when Aule Jean-Marc struck in the 79th minute of the mouth of the goal scramble. United have now moved to 7th spot with 8 points in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Match week 7 in the NPFL, we'll be seeing games come up tomorrow where Bendel Insurance will be hosting Nasarawa United. Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan will be up against Plateau United. That's going to be on Sunday. Eyimba will also be hosting Rivers United on Sunday. Bayelsa United will be hosting Ikorodu City. El Kanemi Warriors will be up against Kano Pillars. Kwara United will be hosting Abia Warriors on Sunday. Enugu Rangers will be hosting Katsina United. Barau FC will be hosting Warri Wolves. White Niger Tornadoes will be hosting New Boys School Khalifat. And Remo Stars will be up against Wiki Tourist to wrap up the match the 7 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Still taking more stories coming through on the show this morning. Sports in a Jiffy right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Don't forget, I'm here to serve it to you in bits and in pieces, tiptoeing through all of the major stories currently making the rounds. Whether you're a sports person, you are someone who just loves the thrill of the game, or maybe an athlete yourself, I tell you this is the right place for you to be, because the early bird has gone around the world to catch the scores, and it is my own prerogative to serve them to you, making sure that I'm keeping you abreast right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Quickly, I go straight to Europe right now, skedaddling into the world of tennis, where defending champion Kokogayev was able to defeat Eva Liz in straight set to reach a 3rd consecutive China Open semi-final. The world number 3 took 1 hour and 28 minutes to overcome our German opponent 6-3, 6-4. Gayev, a 2-time Grand Slam winner, broke Li's serve 3 times in the opening set The 21-year-old American, who has struggled with a serve at times this season, has been working on that problem and had impressive 78% first serve percentage throughout the match. Agao was knocked out in the first round at Wimbledon after winning the French Open before failing to Naomi Osaka in the US Open. Fourth round is now the highest ranked player left in this week's event. She will be facing American compatriot Amanda Anisimova, the runner-up at Wimbledon and US Open this year in the last four. Anisimova's seeded second came from a set down to beat Italy's Yasmin Paolini 6-7, 6-3, 6-4. I will now be playing a sixth semi-final of the year. And away from the WTA right now, don't forget I always tell you that whatever your agenda is, I've got you on my agenda. In the ATP right about now, stories coming through from the ATP. Yannick Sinner has now won the China Open title. The 24-year-old Yannick Sinner won the China Open by beating American youngster Lennart Tien in straight sets, 6-2, 6-2. And this is Sinner's 21st career title and his third trophy of 2025, including wins at the Australian Open and also the Wimbledon. Sinner continues to lead the way with fellow star Carlos Alcaraz, who recently won the Japan Open. Alcaraz is skipping the Shanghai Open to rest an ankle injury, which means Sinner will be top seed for the tournament. The event in Shanghai will also be featuring the likes of Novak Djokovic, playing his first tournament since the US Open earlier this year. It's been said by Gail Monfils yesterday that as it is now, he is going to be retiring from tennis in the year 2026 after the Rolex Paris Masters next November. Monfils, who turned pro in 2004, is well known for his fun, athletic playing style and entertaining personality. He will be turning 40 next year and is expected to receive many tributes as he travels the world for his final season in the world of tennis. And away from that right now, we'll go straight into the world of football, bringing you reactions from all of the actions that went down in the UEFA Europa League and as well as the Conference League from last night. Let's start with the Magic. The Lille goalkeeper, Breke Oza, produced an incredible performance yesterday, saving 3 consecutive penalties to secure his team's Europa League victory over AS Roma. The drama unfolding late in the game after Roma were awarded the penalty in the 80th minute for a handball. Substitutes Temdonvik stepped up first, but a shot was stopped by Oza. The referee ruled the goalkeeper had moved off his line, so the kick was retaken. Dovvik took the penalty again, and of course, Oza denied him, and this time around, the Turkish keeper was judged to have stepped forward too early, leading to a third attempt, and then the responsibility then fell on Matthias So, but Oza guessed right again and pulled off his third stunning save. Amazing that was from the goalkeeper last night. His heroics ensured Leo held on to the lead, which came from Akan Ama Aras's 6-minute strike. Roma's hope of snatching a point was crushed, leaving their manager Gian Piero Gasperini super stunned after the result of the game yesterday. His remarkable display will be going down as one of the most dramatic penalty-saving performances in the Europa League history. Of the matches that were played in Europa League yesterday, quickly giving you the result of all of the fixtures. Bologna played at the 100 against Fribourg. Brann defeated Utrecht 1-0. Celtic lost at home to Sporting Braga, though a goal was struck off for Celtic in the game yesterday. The goal that was scored by Nigeria's own Kelechi Iheanacho was being misjudged for an handball. After a lengthy VR review, the goal was ruled out. But then pictures definitely do not show any clear infringement. But then VR did its thing, and so be it. In it. A clear Lartus Martinez undone, and there was a rebound in the net for Braga to score the second goal of that particular game yesterday. Basel also lost at home to Young Boys 2-0 right there at their home ground at the Arena Nacional. There were also games between Fenerbahce and Nice. Fenerbahce getting the better of OGC Nice 2-1. Ludogorets Razgrad lost at home to Real Betis. Panathinaikos lost at home to Go Ahead Eagles in the game at the Olympiacos Stadio yesterday. Roma, like I mentioned, were at home at the Stadio Olimpico when Lille defeated them 1-0. Victoria Plessin defeated Malmo FF 3-0. Celta Vigo defeated PAOK Thessaloniki 3-1. Feyenoord lost at home to Aston Villa. Aston Villa getting their second win of the season. Bundia and also Magain getting on the score sheet in that particular encounter. Villa have now won 2 of their 2 games in Europa League this season. Genk also lost at home to Ferencvaros. Maccabi Tel Aviv lost at home to Dynamo Zagreb. Nottingham Forest lost at home to FC Midtjylland. Not too good for the Forest side, because as it is now, Goglu will be facing supporters backlash because he's not won any game since he took charge of the role as the head coach of Nottingham Forest. Postecoglou have not won any of his opening 6 matches since replacing Nuno Espirito Santo last month, and the home fans are now chanting sacked in the morning after the game yesterday got to the closing stages. But whether or not Marinakis, the chairman of the team, will be looking to sack Postecoglou too soon is what is left to be seen. They'll be traveling to Newcastle United this Sunday in the Premier League before the international break is going to be coming up next week as well. Porto defeated Resta Belgrade 2-1. Stormgrass were 2-1 winners over Rangers. Olympic Lyon were 2-0 winners over Red Bull Salzburg. A couple of matches in the Conference League with Crystal Palace now setting another record for themselves. They've now gone 19 matches unbeaten this season, breaking a record that has been set since the early 2000s. Yes, Crystal Palace continued their impressive start to the season with a new club record as they opened their Conference League campaign with a comfortable victory against Dynamo Kiev. Daniel Munoz looping header from Pino's back post cross put them on their way to success in their first ever game in the main phase of an European competition. Like I mentioned, by full time, they were not only celebrating a historic first away win in Europe, but breaking a club mark that was set as far back as the early 2000s by extending their unbeaten run to 19 matches across all competition. And away from that, there were also other games in the Conference League from yesterday. The likes of Fiorentina defeated Sigma Olomouc 2-0. There were games between Sparta Prague and also Shamrock Rovers 4-1. That particular one ended yesterday. And later today, we'll be seeing games in the English Premier League at about 8 p.m. Nigerian time. AFC Bournemouth are going to be hosting Fulham at about 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Matches in the Women's Super League with Manchester United women up against Chelsea. Right there in the English Women Football League. In the Spanish Liga, Osasuna will be hosting Getafe. In the German Bundesliga, Offian will be hosting FC Köln, while in the Italian Serie A, Hellas Verona will be up against Sassuolo. That's it. While in the French Ligue 1, Paris FC will be up against Lorient to wrap up the Friday games in the top 5 European leagues. And then attention will be shifted to the games that we played between Saturday and Sunday. Still sporting in Jiffy right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM at all of the major stories that are currently making the rounds in the ever exciting, ever dynamic, and sometimes controversial world of sport. Quickly bringing you this update before I wrap up the show this morning. Former Manchester United winger, who is now a Real Betis winger, Anthony has said he felt a lack of respect at the end of his time at Manchester United before his move to Real Betis. The Brazilian international joined Betis on loan last season before completing a 22 million euros, that's about $25.6 million permanent move this summer. And in between returning to United and rejoining Betis, Anthony was forced to train away from teammates by Ruben Amorim and was not included in the squad for the club's pre-season tour. And in his word, he said he felt like he was not needed, saying he was not going to mention names, but then he felt a bit of a lack of disrespect, even a bit of rudeness too, with no one giving you a good morning or a good afternoon. So you can tell the main reason why he had to decide that it is time for him to call it quit with Manchester United. Sporting a Jiffy this morning. Don't forget I'll be back here later this evening between 5 p.m. down to 7 p.m. on the Sports Up Show with 1 hour of banter, 1 hour of rage, 1 hour of viewers reviews, and all of the interviews just the way you like it. The England list was also released earlier today, and then there's no Jack Grealish, there's no Phil Foden, there's no Jude Bellingham, but then there's a return of Bukayo Saka to the international games for the Three Lions of England. They'll be facing Wales in a friendly next Thursday, and the World Cup qualifier against Latvia next Tuesday as well. Likes of Cole Palmer is also absent after suffering an injury with his Chelsea team. I'll be back here later tonight on the Sports Hub Show. I did Jajibo signing out this morning. Stay sporty, stay active, drink enough water to stay hydrated. Don't forget to go out there and be the best version of yourself. Remember to be kind, because kindness is cool. I'll see you when I say once again, love yourself, a blessed and a favored weekend.
From the greens of golf to the court of tennis and basketball, the Octagon